Later on, the 8 to 12-year-old T was busy up to working out ideas of how to find an idea to get his gold dust back. Don't worry about that, that was just a goof. Oh good, there's a carrot. Better have... This could be a good idea to eat. Plane, drain. Mountain, fountain, hang on, I think I'll try the celery. Sausage, bicycle, toothpaste, beach. Just don't worry about that. Beach, beach. That's it. I'll call Junior. She'll know what to do. Carrie Junior. Right, this is a funny ringtone. Junior. Junior, is that you? Why does the phone keep ringing? The four naughty engines were all in a terrible mess because they had caused a lot of strife on the island of Sodor because they aren't lucky to find the magic buffers to try and get onto the magic railway to go onto Ladies Railway. Plus, they were sad and upset for me having to eliminate the mafia boss, Sir Topham Hatt's corrupt in boss, as in inspector, the controller of the controllers, because they weren't so lucky now. And without Lindsay the Steamroller wanting to destroy buffers and rip up railways and turn them into roads, they had no choice. So now they were in deep trouble with themselves. Soon I was busy telling off the four Princess Bride engines. You engines have caused enough trouble as it is, because you are a perfect disgrace. That black smoke and stuff. Because that coal, 98462, is dirty and pollution. No. Plus you two, Cindy and Darren, the yellow and green diesels, have caused enough trouble as it is. And as for you, Diesel 10, as known as Fiona, you've caused enough trouble as it is too. If there's any more trouble from you four, I'll have to eavesdrop on your island till it's nothing but scrap. Do I make myself clear? But none of them answered. So I just strode off.
Oh, that's my cell phone. Hello.
Junior? Junior, is that you?
Hi T, what is up?
I've run out of gold dust. You better come to the Iron and Sodal right now before Fiona kills me.
Oh crap. Don't worry, I'll be there. Now I'm out of gold dust.
What? Then go to my house first. Or to my phone box or something, or somewhere important. I'll have to forget about that goof. Or go to Wallace's place, and you'll find the gold dust there. Forget about that fly. Then it'll all work out okay. I'm not going to tell you where the magic buffers are as well, because we need to keep everything safe. Talk to you soon, Junior.
Hello. Now I'm stuck.
Somewhere in Knapford, the engines were getting ready to go to sleep. I found them in the shed so that they could all sleep in, the main characters. Thomas, Percy, Jamesica, Amalia, Duck, Gordon, and 87546 is known as Danny, all getting ready to go to sleep in the shed at Knapford. And I came to talk with them. You engines, I'm very proud of all of you for sticking up for yourselves against those against those four evil engines. Because I'm glad that Lindsay has been scrapped, but I'm also glad that she's no longer a threat to us. Because you engines, I'm very proud of you, because my uncle will be proud with you when he comes home. For you, Thomas, Annie and Clarabelle have been cleaned. They'll be for you to look after, and Percy, you better take Henrietta tomorrow, because Toby will be needing to go to the works. Yes. Gordon, you will pull the mainline local, and for the other trains will be you, Danny. Duck, you'll do the goods work for the main line, and Amalia, you'll help with the shunting. And Jamesica, I'll let you do some work on a little western to help look after the passenger duties. I'm all proud with you engines for sticking up against those Princess Bride engines. I'll be happy to inform Sir Topham that everything is good, and it's a good thing that that mafia boss, the corrupt inspector, is dead now, because you engines are proud of me for it, and I'm always proud that you engines will do the right thing to look out for me when needed. Now have a good night's sleep, because I've got a lot to deal with on my night shift, and my mother needs her sleep. Have a good night, you engines. So I got ready to stroll away, and the duties for the engines at night, like for the secondary characters, the engines were busy doing their jobs.
How come you don't live in Muffle Mountain in your family home?
Because it got a bit too big for us, Lily, and we decided to move here because it was nice, because it's nice and quiet. Such as, we bought this house so that there can be rooms and somewhere for my model train layout, and we bought a signal box which isn't used anymore, so the workmen of Sodor got rid of the asbestos and made it into your bedroom for you. Plus, it's a good thing that Wendeline lives in our family home, because she uses it as a wildlife shelter.
Did Preston become Diesel 10's dog?
Yes, he did, Lily, because Diesel 10's driver bought him. Yes. After you finish dinner, it's time that you better get to bed. Elward and Monique dreamt that they were left abandoned in a farm, at a chicken farm. Chickens were pecking, looking for grubs, looking for scraps, and of course, nesting in their tenders and old fireboxes, and also nesting in their funnels. And Mrs. Tweedy didn't bother to care. Amalia dreamt that she was in a playground at the block of flats. Children were swinging and sliding on her and painting on her.
Oh, I don't believe I got turned into this. I wish to be working again like all nice diesels.
Toby the tram engine was at Knapford Harbour. Plus, he was feeling miserable. Everywhere was wet, wet, wet. Well, this is his flashback dream, because I'm sorry to say, is that it was a terrible, because he's feeling a bit traumatised after what's happened.
To avoid being in a nasty
becoming flooded onto Percy's boiler. So with special things similar to first day. Harold spoke. Be careful out there, Percy. When you get to Knackford, there's a bus waiting for the passengers. Think nothing of it. Now Percy started again, ready to move. Percy was still losing speed a bit, but she plunged bravely on. Percy chuffed and chuffed as fast as she could. Percy chuffed and chuffed as fast as she could. And as soon as she made it into Knackford, everything was working okay, and Thomas pulled in with his goods train. Well done, Percy, my best friend. You did your fine job as well as you could, because I'm proud of you. But she kept your promise. But she kept your promise. The back controller got out of Harold. He thanked the men, but also thanked Percy. Harold told me you did a very good job getting those children away from the beach before that big wave. Plus, I'm very proud of you because you're the main engine of mine who's been a very good shunter. I was glad I got you to be Thomas's best friend. I don't know what to say really, because you're a really fine engine, and you will think of me being your well-deserved controller. Now Thomas was now busy having his flashback dream. Back during the early 2000s, also when Sodor was getting built, before Gordon was Sodor's express engine, he was used for taking the livestock and used for taking the milk vans. Gordon kind of disliked the job, but he to she did the very best to keep up the good work. And it was back during the time when Henry refused to come out of the tunnel. So Gordon was used for taking the dairy train around the island before the main line was built. And Elward was used for taking the animals around to help transport to the farms that were being built around the island of Sodor, because they were being transported by ship. And also to use for the meat for the workmen building the railway. In Thomas's flashback dream, for me to continue on, the Fat Controller had hired 2 blue engines on trial, 98462, actual name Natalie, and 87546, as known as Francesca, before she changed her name to Danny before she got redeemed. And the 2 of them would often take enthusiast specials, but they would often cause trouble to the passengers. So the thing what they just did was very deliberate, which upset the passengers often. So the Fat Controller had to send the 2 of them away because they were very naughty to the passengers and of course to the goods work, which upset many of the people at work and of course the passengers that were on holiday on Sodor. So Monique was used for taking coal. So Monique was used for taking coal because it's the days when Thomas and some of his friends ran on coal. So one time to do with Thomas, because this is his flashback dream, Thomas was taking a special train of young kids and their parents. And the youngest of all was a baby in a pram. It was raining heavily and the tropical weather was making it swelter. Oh, I better get going. So Thomas was off. Thomas puffed as fast as he could. I must save the railway. I must. Thomas ground to a halt. Oh, bugger. I feel like I'm breaking down. The crew who he had back then checked him all over. You are due for a service. Hopefully, in a few months or weeks, the Fat Controller will get a new engine. Do you think you can do it? I'll try. Thomas did his best. I must make it. I must. I must get over that hill or the railway will shut down. And finally he did. I've done it! I've done it! Thomas arrived at the station and was very pleased that the passengers cheered him on.
Almost there. Look at that swing. Can I try?
Thank you for getting us home. We'll tell all our friends what a fine railway you are. Plus, you managed to survive going over that hill. Plus, we enjoyed that trip. That was very good work, Thomas. We're all proud of you for saving the train from you breaking down all of a sudden. It's good that Sodor is still getting built. Your gallant young engine. When you're ready, we'll mend you so that you're ready for tomorrow. Plus, in about some months or some days or weeks, there may be a new engine coming.
Get back here, you little bugger. You can't get me, Mr. Conductor. Oh, yes, I will, grandson. Take this. Drop it, grandfather. Right now. Good. Now I've got rid of the people.
It was now, early in the morning, before dawn. The baddies were moored off. All were shot of their guns, load, except Florence, now being unloaded. One last minute slip-up could mean disaster. I'd be glad to get rid of this lot. Listen, OJ, you're past it, eh? Shut it. The peddler's right. We're not moving that budge. Miss.
I want this fuel unloaded now. Orange juice, coffee. Drop your book into this baby and leave some nuisance right now. I'll, with a bread tub, order your fuel train around. Well, I do. And I'm in charge. So, obey orders.
Hey, what's going on? Skittles, there's one next.
Now go to start, landing. Wait your turn.
Watch out. Hey, I'm coming along, sir. This barge has to be unloaded. I've got orders too.
Who's orders?
Captain Star's orders. I'm coming alongside.
We'll see about that. Now just move aside and let me know.
Fiona, stay back. That goods train is on stop.
Do not give me orders. If I want to move, I move. I told you to move it. Now look what happened there.
He's coming. Oh no! The engine's quick.
I'm in charge. Stay where you are.
No way. I know what's on that train. Get clear. The whole thing's going to blow.
Emergency. Emergency. Leave area immediately.
Move out. Save yourself. Headset. Cut your back rope. And pull free. My back is clear. That diesel 10 is causing strife. Oh, come on, Owen, Darren, can't stop. Let's get over here. I can't. Somehow, go on. My engine's failed. Michael, his engine's out. I'm going in to help. Don't be a fool. 10 cents. Get out of there. He's right. Move. Photos on the way. Keep clearing, everyone.
Boko quickly arrived as soon as possible and bought the
Evacuate their ward in the next. But you, Papa, and of course you, little Al, will stay back and deal with the fire. Oh no, the signal box. The good strangers caught fire. What's that? What's what? That. Check the skies. Be careful of the red sky. Red sky high at night. That was the light. The sun was down ages ago. And that's not wet. Not wet. Ah! Ah! Sorry. It's really hot. There's no chance of getting a line on it. Get that thing out of there! Quick! What do you think I was doing? I'm not here to keep you on, you know. You have to stay back. Who's responsible for this bed? Oh, her. She gives us all the orders. Well, she won't be doing it anymore now. She's in strike. And nearby one begins to smoke. Get the fire barge and sunshine, get the fire barge and start dousing that building. It's going to blow any second. On my way, sir. You've got to try and stop the fire from spreading.
So Boko gave all the orders for the cubs to do. Boko gave them advice of knowing what to do. And his driver threw out the hoses. And all the star tugs, except 10 cents, all joined in to fight the fire. Come on, keep spraying. We've got it, Boko. We're doing our best. That fire is out of control. Yes, we're doing it. Soon the fire was spreading, but luckily it only hit 4 tankers, and they sprayed the last 3. The people on the forklifts were doing their best to evacuate. But it was hard to see in all that smoke. What a silly why those boats are star tugs on Thomas's side. We're on Thomas's side because we're friends with him, and he came to visit us in Sydney. Are you doing well, OJ? Yes, I am. I'm doing my best. The drivers of the star tugs were doing their best to aim the hoses. This is making my top hat filthy. We're doing our best. Keep aiming, warrior. Good, I'll aim up close. So Boko got up close and was aiming the water and the special stuff to help smother the fire, to make sure that it didn't get worse. So Boko's driver was doing his best. So to get into position, they got to the top of the hill. Fire Tug saw what was going on and was very pleased with the star tugs. And so was Grampus. And now the fire was out. Where is everyone, Bronson? I don't know, Patch. I just don't know where everybody is.
Much. I've got to get back to the island. I've got to get to T.
Hello there, Miss Conductor.
C. Junior.
Good to see you, C. Junior. We're glad to see you because we're a bit concerned that Preston, P.T. Boomer Jr., and of course, some of the nasty villains are up to some nasty stuff. Do you think you could help?
I'm going to Sodder tomorrow. You're welcome to come too.
Good. We'll come with you to Sodor tomorrow, and we'll definitely do something to help out. We'll see you tomorrow, Junior. Next morning, the fierce winds had gone, but the damage was done. But I'll show you what happens later at Knapford Harbour. Henry's driver came to see him in the yard. He's have fallen across the line. We must help clear the tracks. James and Thomas set off with the breakdown cranes, and Henry followed. Because of Henry very upset, he did not know what to say. Now they got clearing in the forest. This is just a goof, everyone. When the flat trucks were full of logs, they were getting ready to take them to the timber mill so that it can be turned into something good for the environment. Henry was glad that the wood was still being put to good use and other good things where the men were busy at work, but he was still sorry for losing part of his forest.
Oh dear. I wish there was something we could do to make things better again.
Yes, indeed, but what? We can't let broken trees.
Hello, Toby. You do look glum. I'm sad about the trees. How's the environment in our island? And so is Henry. The forest is a special place to him. And some of it's gone. We'll soon put that right. I have an important job for you, Toby. I would like you to take some trucks to the forest.
When the trucks arrive, Toby was delighted. They were full of splendid young trees all ready for planting.
This is the best job I've ever had.
Chugga chugga, choo choo.
Anchors were now blackened because of the fire. They were now blackened, black all over. Fergus was happily chuffing along, then all of a sudden, bang, he fell into the water after running over a landmine bomb. When Henry returned, he was most surprised. There were Trevor and Kiwa busy at work. Look, Henry, the forest is beginning again, and we're glad that we've started the work on it, and many things are coming back. And they will be better than before. Thank you, Kiwa and Trevor. James the car was collecting fuel tankers, which were new to replace the ones at the harbour. So she got them all together, then all of a sudden, one disappeared through the buffers. Percy was waiting for Thomas to turn up, because Thomas was pulling his branch line passenger train.
Hello, Percy.
I've been worried. Not long till your driver becomes a mummy.
Yes. But sometime today or tomorrow.
Maybe I'll help look after your grandfather.
Yes, that could be good, Percy. I must wonder who my driver may be. Percy, you protect those buses from diesel tenants known as the owner. And maybe Mr. Conductor could be my driver, or maybe I could just be coupled up to another engine. Because you're a grown engine, Percy, and those James pick Toby and Mavis, Duck, Amalia, Gordon, Spicer and Dodge.
Plus 87546 is known as Danny.
I forgot. Then I think the bus is meant to take Mama Getaway or somewhere in Australia.
Was up to no good. The naughty blue dog was up to no good. And a poor old boy was swimming in the river trying to call for help. So there was nothing much he could do. So it was very scary for him having to float down the river. So the river had a very strong current. So 3 girls, one named Zoe, one named Kiki, and Amber jumped in to save him. Kiki is the one with the dark hair. Zoe is the one with the blonde. And Amber is the one with the ginger hair. So the 3 took them to their cabin, took him to his cabin, to their cabin I mean, and he was all okay. Today was a lovely day in Muffle Mountain. Patch and Bronson were playing in the park.
Sorry about that, guys. That's just a goof.
Day in Muffle Mountain. Patch and Bronson were playing in the park.
Mistakes happen.
Like good friends should. Soon Wendeling came to see them.
Wendeling is
and told them some bad news. So they got on Patch's horse, Snowy, and got ready to ride to Shining Time. Good. We'll make sure we're back by sunset, Bronson. Yes, Patch, I better make sure I'm home to my family. And Wendeling was now busy in her workshop, which is her father's workshop, busy checking on Lady, and Sean was in there with her. She prefers Sean than Preston because she didn't really bond with Preston, but Sean is a much better friend to her that saved her from being turned into dog food. And of course he saved Wallace Gromit and his flock. Now, Patch and Bronson were in Shining Time Station. They were sitting down having a chat. Then Junior turned up. Then she got ready to take them to the island of Sodor. Now the three of them were flying along the magic railway. Junior was showing them the interesting things along the railway and discussing about Lady. And when the magic railway was first discovered in 2004 by a boy in primary school. And they found the fuel tanker, what James the car accidentally biffed through the buffers, and now they were on Sodor. Thomas was puffing along his branch line. So he was somewhere in Tidmouth where the three people came through. Annie, Clarabelle, there's T. We found him. Oh, bother, it's Junior. So the three found Thomas, Clarabelle and Annie. Then they climbed aboard his cab and chuffed on the way to the windmill. Junior went on the windmill. We had just got there to all gather together, and Junior was on the windmill. Thomas was looking anxious. And Junior wasn't listening. Then came trouble. Junior, I shouted. Junior was weighing the distance on board Diesel 10's roof and trying to train surf. Junior's been hijacked by Diesel 10. Don't worry, Thomas, which the 8 to 12-year-old T said. I'm sure she'll be back. Later that day, after Junior's disappearance, Bear fell into the turntable well. He was pushed by the trucks on the bad side and fell into the turntable well. Now, we had to wait we're going to wait until we have a chance to get him out. And it's a good thing as well that the inspector isn't there to complain and threaten me and my uncle in a disgusting way. 98462, actual name Natalie, was resting in a siding. Wake up, 98462. A special train's coming and we're to pull it.
Is it coaches or trucks?
Trucks.
Trucks. TUA.
Yes, you have to pull those trucks. It's a goods train to go across to Australia. Plus, we're lucky we haven't got that mafia boss railway inspector looking over the railway because I had suggested that you do that for a punishment. "98462 was taken to the special loop to be turned around. But when she was there, she got very mad and cranky. Watch out! I said to her, "You've now caused an accident." "Now you've damaged Mavis," I scolded at her. So the thing what I did back to 98462 was reverse her and make her fall into the ocean. So with me having the check all over on Mavis, well, it's me, Mr. Conductor. For me having the check all over on Mavis, I scolded at her at 98462 and said to her what a very disobedient engine she was for causing that nasty accident to the goods train and to Mavis. Mavis will now have to be mended, all thanks to you and refusing. Plus, I shall have to get Henry, his girlfriend Elward, and of course Monique for them to pull the special train. And with Mavis, your owners will have to pay a big heap of money, or you'll be scrapped. So now with 98462 now lying in the water, I said to her furiously, "You will remain there still, and I'm very disappointed in how you were tormenting and kept some of the engines as hostages, such as Elward, Henry, Monique, Donald and Douglas, and some of the others, and you plus Iron, Sydney and Darren refuse to let Duck into the sheds. I'm very disappointed in you. You will remain there until you're ready to come out, or till your people on your side get you out. So good day. Hello, Henry. I've got something important to tell you, my dear lad. I will need you, your girlfriend Elward, and of course, Monique, to pull the heavy goods, what 98462 was supposed to pull, please, because there's no other spare engines to pull it. And there's also some scrap that needs to go. And I'm sorry to devastate you about Fergus, because Fergus will be going to the scrapyard and most of the engines have done the right thing to say goodbye to him. And there'll be other goods as well. Please be a good engine and help your girlfriend and her sister pull the heavy goods train to Sydney. Yes, sir. Yes, T. I'll do it. Great. And when you take the train, I'll have to work out the arrangement of who can go in between and who can go at the front. And I'm working out who should pull the mainline goods, because Bear can't pull them, because Bear's stuck in the turntable well. So I'll have to get the crane will help lift him out, and will do the right thing to put him back on the rails and send him to be mended, because we'll keep Bear as much as we like. Plus, he's one of our friendly diesels, plus Boko needs to be mended. So later on, I sent Donald and Douglas to go and do the mainline goods for around the island, because the three engines, Henry and his girlfriend Elward and Monique, had to take the train to Sydney. Later on, the twins, Donald and Douglas, were looking after the mainline goods. So they were covering for Boko, because Boko had to go to be mended.
Oh, is that the cheating?
But little to known to the twins, there was a naughty brake van at the end of their train, named Inigo. Keep puffing, Donny. I'm doing it, Doogie. Well, the twins are Malaysian. Well, that's how they speak in the actual Thomas and Friends, because they're Scottish in the actual one. So Donald and Douglas were doing their job, but at the back were 5 naughty trucks. And they had to struggle as hard as they could. Come on, you trucks, move! Soon they were on their way into Knapford. So the twins now cross the bridge into Tidmouth, and we're going to go past the harbour. While they were still puffing around the Little Western on their way to Tidmouth, they were making good time. But it was very busy today at Shining Time, because a lot of people were getting on and off the train, plus there weren't many, well, there aren't many people at the moment. Meanwhile, in Shining Time, Preston was up to no good scheme. Preston grabbed a newspaper and was trying to fight with a shopkeeper. One of the shopkeepers who I know, who my mother and I have known. And the shopkeeper ran after Preston. But the bad news was Preston got away and the paper was torn to bits. And the lady, who my mother and I know from the Shining Time grocery store, was very cross. So later on, I sent Donald and Douglas to go and do the mainline goods for around the island, because the three engines, Henry and his girlfriend Elward and Monique, had to take the train to Sydney. Donald and Douglas were now taking the goods train and they were doing their job. Meanwhile, later on, Diesel 10 went up to Sydney to go and visit her headquarters. And soon she found 3801. And she had a plan to take her to Sodor to be scrapped. That afternoon, there was bad news up the line on Sodor. So something had happened with Toby, and the coach's brakes to the coaches what Toby was pulling, with Henrietta plus Salty at the lead, had broken. Soon I went to go and see Iron Darren after getting the call about something happening with Toby. Toby the tram engine can't pull his train. Salty can't do it all alone. So you're the only engine to help, Iron Darren. Oh, this extra work. It wears an engine out. Rubbish. Come on. I've knocked out your crew and I'm going to drive you so that I can get you to do the job I expect you to do. Plus, I haven't got time to do it all around. Plus, I've got a sick mother and I've also got some other things. Plus, I've got a kidnapped cousin, which your boss has taken, and I will not have it of you stuffing around in the yard. So it's time that you help me do the jobs, because my uncle won't invite me back. to run the railway. Do I make myself clear? And something else is happening with Thomas, because Thomas can't do the work because something is happening with his driver and his observer, who's the sister of his driver, who's the sister, like the observer who's the sister, has to look after her sister, because you need to do the job right now. Do I make myself clear? But I and Darren would not answer back. Right, that bit, I'm getting in. So I furiously jumped into Iron Darren's cab and slammed the door shut. Then I slowly drove him out of the platform onto Thomas's branch line.
Henry, Elwood, and Monique were all coupled up to the special train going to Sydney. They were all ready to go. Pete, I'm ready.
So am I.
Pull hard, we'll do it. Pull hard, we'll do it. So the three engines were all coupled up and were very excited and very happy. We've done it together. We've done it together. You go, hooray! You go, hooray! Hooray! So the three engines were happily pulling the train. Henry's acceleration went well, and so did Elwood in the knee. Then they went over the hill and were now leaving the Isle of Sowor. Golden Duckworths were now on Thomas's branch line. to do their job. Let's do it. Let's do it. The two of them work together, trying to pull the heavy goods train, because they have to do someone's work as well as their own, but they tried their best. But my uncle understood that he didn't have to put up with the corrupt boss anymore, but he was glad that he was pleased that I was looking after the engines well. So there being some mishaps, it didn't matter as much, but he was doing the right thing to think of me doing the job. All those trucks are troublesome. Keep pulling, Donnie. I'm trying, Dougie. But I was getting up the hill. And the trucks were holding back because they could not. Come on, do it, Douglas. I can't. Donald, we're out coupling. But soon there was coming trouble because the spiteful brakeman Inigo was causing the trouble. Now, trucks, now! Then suddenly there came trouble. No! After them! But the trucks had their chance. There was work being done on the line next to the road, on the road leading to the ocean, on the bridge close to Ellsbridge Station. The road bridge I mean. Then a truck landed into the river. But luckily nothing bad was spilled.
Gosh, Douglas. What a mess those trucks have made. What that brake van has made. Some of the trucks are on our side. Don't worry, Donald. I'm sure Mr. Conductor will agree of something. Lucky the petrol tank wasn't leaking to contaminate the water close by. And soon they had to call a crane to come and lift the wagons back on the rails.
Arthur Henry, Elwood and Monique had left the island of Sodor. I and Darren passed into Knackford Station to be coupled up to the passenger carriages. Because of Toby out of action, because of the rattling side plate, I and Darren had to do Toby's work, plus had to do Thomas's work, because he was not used to taking passengers. I get no rest. So, he stopped in the harbour yard and was refusing to move. You're keeping the passengers waiting. You dare speak to me like that. Diesel 10 will kill you. I'm not scared of Diesel 10. You should be. So he sure got grumpy and cross. I know it worse, but I won't stand it. Come on, get up this hill. Then I'll refill you till you've got the passengers off the branch line and onto the main line. Plus, I'll have to ring buses to get buses to come and pick up the passengers. Then came trouble.
Soon, Duck was sent to go and pull Iron Darren and the train to the next station. The passengers were furious. They were telling me what a bad railway it was, and I had to tell them to shut up and say that it's all okay because the corrupt mafia railway inspector is dead. And also to say that the Fat Controller will be back in some day. Percy was looking after Annie and Clarabelle for Thomas because Thomas's driver had to go to the hospital because she's pregnant and she was having a bit of a she had a bit of a bug. So Percy was waiting for the guard's whistle. So soon the signal dropped, and before the guard could whistle, "98462 sped through while like a maniac. Then the signal went back to red. The station master was very cross. This railway has got a restricted honour because Who was that careless driver driving through this station? So I came out of my uncle's office and told everyone at Tidmouth and told everyone to calm down, because the passengers aboard Percy's train were very annoyed. Percy, it's not your fault for being delayed. I must wonder how 98462 got out of the water. I'll deal with her later. Good. Gordon's still settled to run along the main line. And Toby's side plates are now mended. Soon I got a call to hear about, from one of my friends, to hear about the rabbit and sheep shortage on Sodor. Good, I'll be on to that later on. And I hung up my phone and said, Percy, you set off first. And Gordon, you go last. Because it's not your fault for the trains being delayed. I'll deal with 98462 later. So by now the turntable was mended and it was all fixed and ready to go for the bigger engines. So they didn't have to go tender first. So Percy set off with Annie and Clarabelle and stopped at Tidmouth Halt for passengers to get on and off. And Gordon's path was cleared to pull the main line local. And Gordon tooted happily at Percy for them making up lost time. So Percy and Gordon made good time with their passengers. So I was busy setting out rules about what to do about the engines, plus I was like being inspector of the railway too. What should I do? So I was busy working out ideas. Right, since the turntable is mended, I'll get the building supplies to the sheds by tomorrow. It's a good thing I contacted Stacey to come to the island of Sodor, plus I'll make sure that those children are safe and secure. And I also better have a word with the Stone family. And I also better have a word with my uncle and aunt for those 4 naughty engines. I shall have to work out a way to teach them a lesson. And tonight, because I'm often seeing the papers hearing about there being a sheep and rabbit shortage, I shall have to put a complaint about it. And I'll give that dog, Preston, a lesson or so. I went to speak with Salty, who tested the turntable well. Hello there, Salty. I'm very glad that you tested the turntable, how well it turned out. Plus, I'm very proud of you for being a good diesel. Plus Amalia and Daisy. Plus, tonight, Splatter and Dodge will go to Sydney through the magic buffers to get the sheep and rabbits to Sodor. Arr, that sounds great, me hearties. And what should we do? Please be on patrol to look out for Diesel 10, because today I had to put up with Iron Darren because he was refusing to pull the passenger train, and Duck had to pull him. Arr, that's not good. What a naughty Diesel who I've had to put up with. And of course, I'm Cindy. And Diesel 10, actual name Fiona. Yes. So, what should Toby, with May that's kind of being mended, what should I do? My friend Wallace is an inventor, and he can help rebuild her to the size what you are. Ah, that sounds great. Also the right length for Toby. Yes. Plus, that Diesel, what she is already, they'll just be used as a shunter. Ah, sounds good, Mr. Conductor. I'll do that. Good, good. That's a good Diesel, Salty. Now hurry along while I make some things for tonight.
This isn't happening right now. I'm just having some sort of flashback.
Over in Sydney, Wallace was busy driving the Rainbow Sun.
This is a flashback, everyone.
A lot of people were travelling in their cars and waving to 3801, Duck's cousin.
lot of people were happy and excited to see 3801 cross Sydney Harbour Bridge. And of course the diesel pushing from behind. This is footage, everyone, from a railway in Canberra. A tourist attraction railway. Her name is Molly, that engine. This is the colour what Monique was painted before she came to Sodor. But when she came to Sodor, she was painted red. That's Elward and Monique's other sister. But this sister of Monique is not built. It just has a number, not a name. You'll find out in second sequel when Molly appears and between the sequels too. There's 1210, busy getting her work done. Well, lucky that worker is very careful. Otherwise, that engine could be a runaway. So, and to let you guys know, Canberra is the capital city of Australia. And this is the railway where Elward and Monique have come from. Sorry for some scenes to go blurry. So Elward and Monique's sister, here she is pulling her train. Up there you can see Parliament House. So this is a decade before Elwood and Monique came to Sodor. Thomas first arrived on Sodor in 2002 and Elwood and Monique arrived a year later. And a year later came Henry and Gordon, and 87546 and 98462. But I don't really want to say what the actual names are, but I will say for 87546, it was good that she became Danny, decided to change her name. Then in 05, and then in 04, no, in 05 came Jamesica, then some months later, Percy.
Let's make some big, colorful prints.
Yay! Wow!
Sparkle, sparkle, sparkle.
From Percy was looking after Annie and Clarabelle for Thomas because Thomas's driver had to go to the hospital because she's pregnant and she was having a bit of a, well, she had a bit of a bug. So Percy was waiting for the guard's whistle. So soon the signal dropped, and before the guard could whistle, "98462" sped through while like a maniac. Then the signal went back to red. The station master was very cross. This railway has got a restricted honour because who was that careless driver driving through this station? So I came out of my uncle's office and told at Tidmouth and told everyone to calm down because the passengers aboard Percy's train were very annoyed. Percy, it's not your fault for being delayed. I must wonder how 98462 got out of the water. I'll deal with her later. Good. Gordon's still set to run along the main line. And Toby's side plates are now mended. Soon I've got a call to hear about from one of my friends to hear about the rabbit and sheep shortage on Sodor. Good. I'll be on to that later on. And I hung up my phone and said, Percy, you set off first. And Gordon, you go last.
because it's not your fault for the trains being delayed. I'll deal with 98462 later. Lily was not happy because she was arguing with her grandparents and she was very upset what happened to my cousin. And she angrily strode away because she was very upset. Meanwhile, in Muffle Mountain, Tinky Winky had saved Gwendoline and the 6-year-old T from Preston, and also the kidnapped sheep and rabbits, like a good friend did. Later that afternoon, Percy was being sent to take Annie and Clarabelle because Thomas's driver had now had to go to hospital because she's having a baby. Meanwhile, 98462, actual name Natalie, reversed onto Gordon's mainline local. She was very furious and stuff, and she was glad that Diesel 10 captured my cousin, which was on purpose because Diesel 10 was threatening to do something with Junior. Percy was getting a bit cross too.
Hey you, that's not your train. That's Gordon's.
Oh, shut up and leave me alone, because you're spoiling my day.
So because Natalie was being powerful and stuff, soon Gordon came reversing into the station. Gordon reversed into the station and all the passengers were now on board. But so Gordon was comfortably waiting at the station. So Gordon had to set off first.
Oh, shut... What is the meaning of this?
But Gordon ignored her.
Soon on, Cindy came pulling in onto the middle line of the station and was blocking the road for the other trains.
I am Cindy. Natalie.
Soon, the guard blew her whistle and the signal showed clear. And Gordon was ready to depart. Cindy pouted angrily because her sister was taken away by Gordon out onto the main line around the island. So Percy spoke up in a bit of a cross voice.
Remember the time when you and your husband tried to scrap Stepney, plus the two of you making Jamaica and our middle engines?
Cindy pouted nervously because she didn't want to be reminded of that time. And she rolled away in anger. So Percy was now ready to take Annie and Clarabelle, plus she was ready, she was glad that she taught Cindy a lesson by saying that stuff to her of what her and her husband did to Percy and Jamesica, and of course to Stepney. So the whistle blew, the signal showed clear, and Percy was off along Thomas's branch line with Annie and Clarabelle. Gordon was busy waiting, but Gordon's path was clear. So I was busy working out ideas. Right, since the turntable is mended, I'll get the building supplies to the sheds by tomorrow. It's a good thing I contacted Stacey to come to the island of Sodor. Plus, I'll make sure that those children are safe and secure. And I also better have a word with the Stone family. And I also better have a word with my uncle and aunt for those 4 naughty engines. I shall have to work out a way to teach them a lesson. And tonight, because I'm often seeing the papers, hearing about there being a sheep and rabbit shortage,
I shall have to put a complaint about it. And I'll give that dog, Preston, a lesson or so. I went to speak with Salty, who tested the turntable well.
Had it now struck night time in Muffle Mountain at the family home of the Stone family. Meanwhile, Wallace, the 6-year-old T who was rescued from drowning, plus the 2 Teletubbies, Tinky Winky and Dipsy, plus Sean and his flock, and the rabbits, and Gromit, who's sitting on the couch, were watching the news. But it was bad news. That's not good, Teletubbies. And T, that's not good to hear that there's a livestock shortage on Sodor. Bah! Bah, 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 bah. Which I mean, that's not good. Bah! We must work something. Bah! Gromit was suggesting of a plan. The blue healer shown on the telly was Preston. The Teletubbies, Lala and Poe, were helping set the table for dinner with Wendeline. They had helped cooked, and they've also helped with the cleaning. Then Wendeline got a call on her phone. Stacy was on Sodor and told her that Patch and Bronson were in Sodor, and she was standing in my uncle's office. Wendeline got into tears because she got very embarrassed to hear that Patch and Bronson had disappeared to Sodor. I was expecting them to do an important job for me, such as help clean up the animal poo and also to help with the cleaning around the animal shelter. And it's not like them to disappear on me, like my niece Lily. Then they got ready to sit down and have dinner. Toby was waiting outside the signal box.
The next train will be arriving in 5 minutes on platform 3.
Plate platform. Walter Nixon-Bourne. 1. Please pick up the sheep and rabbits from Sydney aboard Splatter and Dodge.
Percy and Emily were chuffing along the rails, out on a bit of a mission to work out what was going on. Soon they found Iron, Cindy and Darren on the line, and they were a bit in shock to see that there were the magic buffers. A door slammed somewhere, and the two engines got suspicious and decided as the right thing to go and warn Thomas and the others. Meanwhile, outside Tidmouth Dairy, my mother and I and Stacey were sitting by the fire. It was raining heavily and there was a tropical rainstorm. Soon Bronson spoke. T, I was supposed to be back by sunset. Well, Bronson, perhaps your family can guess where you are, because Stacey called Wendeline, plus your family might be able to know where you are because there's different novels, because Reverend W. Audrey wrote about it here and Paul Jennings wrote about you. I've got something to tell you, Mr. C. I can often hear whistles in Muffle Mountain. Mountain, I've just got another path, a clue for T's gold dust. Stoke up the magic in the mountain and the lady will find them. We need more help, Bronson, and I can guess what your family can do. Unless they can, so can Wendeline. Lady. So Splatter and Dodge were sent with the express to take, but Dodge was struggling. I can't do it. I can't do it. Pull harder, my dear husband. Then suddenly there was trouble. Dodge broke down and overheated, and Splatter knew he could not take the train all on his own, so he pulled Dodge back to the station. She can whistle. I've heard her. Yeah, so have I. It's because she's magic. But she's supposed to run on the Magic Railway, like in the actual Thomas and the Magic Railroad. I've watched that film, the actual one with Alec Baldwin, Peter Fonda and Mara Wilson. Yes. Burnett is my father, and I have been tasked to look after the lady to make sure she doesn't get scrapped.
We must get Patch and Bunsen back to Muffle Mountain fast, before Fiona gets rid of the Magic Railway. How can they go without gold dust?
Without gold dust, the only way to travel on the Magic Railway is on Lady. Unless, Jamesica and Percy, you're really useful engines. Can you do it?
We'll try. We'll get there as fast as we can.
Meanwhile, around Thomas's branch line, Thomas's new driver, Aria, was playing cards with the children, and of course with the older children, Patch, Bronson and Lily. So they were busy playing cards, so I'm sorry to tell you that one of them didn't have good shoes on. Well, the 8 to 12-year-old T had his red Converses on. Taylor, with the mouse ears, dressed as a ballerina, had her ballet shoes on. And 4 had on, no, 3 had bare feet, and 1 only had socks on. So they were busy discussing something, and I was up having a word with the naughty Diesels, getting them to do a job for the engine sheds, to get them rebuilt. Meanwhile, James and Percy were chuffing through the dark. They had the children on board, and they had the 8 to 12-year-old T aboard Jamesica's cab. Then they were through the magic buffers. Now Percy and Jamesica were on the magic railway. In Percy's cab, Bronson, Patch and Lily were happy to see the magic railway once again. Lily had not seen it since when she was small. But Patch and Bronson had saw it again now twice. Now they got ready to get Percy into position to have the fuel truck coupled between her and Jamesica. You're really useful engines, Percy and Jamesica, which I would say the two boys said. Percy and Jamesica arrived at the Muffle Mountain Rail Hub with the fuel tanker for Lady. And Lily, Patch and Bronson were outside. Lady was happy and excited that she saw the Sodor fuel tanker, so that she can be powered to be able to run again. Percy and Jamesica were happy that they did the right thing for her. Soon, Patch and Bronson spoke up. Gwendoline. Oh, Patch and Bronson, I'm so happy to see you. Yes, we've been to this island of talking trains, and they've said you must have been there. Junior's been kidnapped, plus the 8 to 12-year-old looking man, T, has lost his gold dust. You better help us. I'd like to, but I haven't got the right thing to help. We bought the Sodor fuel truck. If Lady has that, she can get to the island and help us out. I feel overworked because of those tough years I've had having to deal with Preston and almost marrying that stupid guy, Rhett.
salty swimmers might need a jacket on because it's a bit rainy outside. Then Patchen Bronson spoke again. If we help, Wallace could help, and he could help get the fuel into Lady. Then we can get to the island of Sodor. Then T can be helped. Okay, good idea. We'll make sure that my ex, who's going to be married to my sister, can help us out. It's up to Wallace, and he'll help get the fuel into Lady. Then we'll go.
Mary had taken the midnight goods to Nassau Harbour. She was just shunting, ready for her return journey, when she heard a faint
That sounds like an engine.
So they did everything they could. They coupled Mary to the nearest 3801 because the centre of the front coupling was different, and they got the crew to Luton 3801 freight.
It was now daytime in Sydney, Australia, in Muffle Mountain, and Toby was happy and excited that he had bought Henrietta and the cattle wagon to get the sheep and rabbits to Sodor. Most of the sheep and rabbits were getting aboard the cattle wagon in excitement because they were glad that they were being saved from Preston, the naughty sheep and rabbit rustler. Toby, the tram engine, was very happy and excited that he had the sheep and rabbits aboard him, and Henrietta and the cattle wagon. He was very happy and excited because he was doing the right thing to help save the sheep and rabbits from Preston. Salty was now coupled up in front of Toby to take him, his coach, Henrietta, and his cattle wagon back to Sodor because Salty is Toby's guide engine. And as for Mavis, she was going to have Amalia coupled up in front of her.
Did Grandma love Lady as much as you did? Did she take a ride on her?
Grandma loved her because I loved her. But she never took a ride on me. I couldn't fix her in time.
There was just something wrong. I remember what happened. A few years ago, I remember puffing along a line at night. I can't remember where exactly, but I remember coming across a big eagle with a crab on his roof.
Ah, I've been looking for you for quite some time now.
Who are you?
That doesn't matter right now. What matters is, I want that golden sparkly magic stuff from you. You're gonna hand it over.
That you absolutely cannot have.
Oh, is that so? Well, I guess I'll have to take it from you myself. Say hello to Vincent for me.
Then I was in. I don't know what happened, but how?
So aboard Lady was Wallace, T at 6, Wendeline, the 2 police officers, Mac and Dibbins, the deli, Bill Cheesy Pullman, and the Teletubbies and Nunu, and the dog, Gromit, getting ready to head off to Sodor.
Well, it was ready to go. All ready to go. Everyone got in the cab, and they were all getting ready. And now they were puffing along the magic railway. Lady, Jessica and Percy. And soon the track started glowing. old Duck was back on the Magic Railway. And everything was back to normal on the Magic Railway for good. And everyone was very proud that Lady was back in steam.
So the three engines were back through the magic buffers in Knapford Harbour, and they were happy that they got back in good time. It was now a brand new day on the island of Sodor.
Duck, the Great Western engine, tucked sadly into
Knapford.
It's not fair. Before nasty engines would not let me sleep in the shed, but saying lies about us nice engines.
We know you're not in sight as the Fat Controller and his nephew.
Why don't you help us with these trucks? Duck felt happier with Elwood and Henry, and they set to work at once. Duck felt happier with Elwood and Henry, and they set to work at once, pulling a heavy goods train. The trucks were silly, heavy and noisy. The three engines had to work hard, pushing and pulling all day.
Now slow down.
There was a nasty crash. Duck crashed into the barber shop and everything went everywhere. Thank goodness Thomas was out of the platform before the nasty crash.
So now a diesel had came to pull the trucks away. Thomas found the operation interesting because he felt sorry for what happened to Duck. This is the time when Amalia was evil, but lucky Amalia is not like that now. How foolish are those Princess Bride engines, such as Natalie, Fiona, Iron, Cindy and Darren. What horrid engines they are to us engines. To us nice engines on Sodor. So now Amalia was coupled up behind Duck's rear and she was getting ready to help pull Duck out. And I was pleased that Duck had survived a nasty crash better than one of the engines who first came to Sodor because they didn't want to do the work, and also for being rude. So I spoke kindly to Duck. You were very brave indeed. We're very proud of you, and we'll soon sort out those 4 nasty engines. Amalia pulled and tugged as hard as she could. When you're properly washed and mended, I said, peering from the building, you're coming home. I'll not. I'll not. Oh, this is Lady. She's a lost engine. I'm so glad to see you, Lady. So you can get me back to Shining Time. T, you won't be able to get back to Shining Time without the gold dust. Without it, the magic can't exist. Plus, I'll help take good care of you. So will my mother, being a grandma figure. So will Stacy, being a mother figure. We'll help take good care of you. And we'll make sure that everything works out. The people from Shining Time and Muffle Mountain and etc. along the Indian Valley were glad that Lady was back in order. It was very quiet today on Thomas's branch line.